guys, welcome to week 3 of our home buying series. We are joined with Christy with Summit Custom Homes. She's the director of sales. So if you've been watching our video series, you'll notice that over the past 3 weeks, we kind of walk you through the home buying process. So week 1 was with Jim with NASB, and he went over how to get pre-approved. And then week 2 was with Rob the Rob Ellerman team, and he kind of walked you through the process of listing your house and maybe the things that you need to do before you list your house. So that's why this week, now that we're here with Christy, she's going to go over the contract process. So you know how to get pre-approved, you're listing your house, and you found a house you love, then you get to talk to Christy.
That's right.
So Christy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I will do that. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I have been in the real estate business for about 5 or 6 years. I started off in real estate selling resale, and I also did sit in a new home community just like you, Missy.
Yes.
So I am very familiar with new construction. About 2 years ago, I got the job with Summit Custom Homes as their director of sales, and now I get to manage properties and help homeowners purchase new homes.
Awesome. So first off, let's just talk about Summit and maybe Summit's history a little bit.
Okay.
So how many years has Summit been around?
We started building houses in 2002. So we have been in business for about 14, almost 15 years.
Wow. Do you know how many homes Summit has built over the past 14 years?
We have built over 1,200 homes.
So you're saying you guys might have a little bit of experience with home building.
We kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So is Summit licensed and insured?
We are.
Good. And then does Summit support any local charities?
Yes. So each year we actually change it up, but this year we have a handful of local charities, the Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Harvesters, that's just really to name a few, Drum Farm. But then we have some national charities that we support as well, like St. Jude Children's Hospital, and I know we have a house being built out here. It's the St. Jude Show Place, so that will raise money for the children at St. Jude's as well.
Yeah, I know our community is so excited about that.
It's beautiful.
Getting to watch the whole process has been kind of fun too. So in your opinion, how does Summit compare to other local builders?
You know, I am really proud of what we do. We have a handful of really great builders here in Kansas City, so we're lucky to actually be in this industry. But what sets us apart, a few of the things, is mainly that not only do we build houses, but we build communities. So you can actually rest assured that if you build in a Summit community, that you're getting a quality community, people that are going to take care of it, along with the construction of the home. So we actually have a handful of exclusive communities, meaning we build and we develop the community, mainly with just Summit Custom Homes. Another feature that I think is a benefit with Summit Custom Homes is that we have a personal builder. So even though we're a really large company and we build, over 300 houses a year, each community has a personal builder that works directly with that home buyer. So it's not like there's one person that builds all 300 houses. At any one given time, there's a personal builder designated to that buyer that is only building, 15 to 20 at a time.
Yeah, which is cool because then it kind of gives people that personal experience. It's not like they're just lost in the crowd.
It is. I think the personal builders end up making friends with a lot of the homeowners in the end.
I can attest to that. I think Dustin has some friends out here.
Yeah.
Now, if someone is sitting on the fence, if they're maybe looking at a couple of different builders, do you guys have references where people can call people to find out from an actual homeowner?
Absolutely. If anyone's looking for references, they can contact me and I'll make sure they get them.
Awesome. Okay, now on to some general home information.
Okay.
How long does it take to build a house from the time you go to contract to when you actually are moving in?
Okay. From the time that you sign a contract, it is taking us approximately 8 months to complete the home. So that's from the time that you sign your name on the contract to the day that you move in.
Now, does that matter if we're signing in the middle of winter or the middle of summer? Or do you count for all of that in that?
We count for all of that. So there's always going to be in the spring, there's rain, sometimes the summer, lots of heat. In the fall, we have more rain, winter, maybe some snow. So yeah, at any given time, any time during the year, it's still taking us approximately 8 months to finish.
Perfect. Do you only build from your plans, or can someone bring you in a little drawing they wrote on a napkin and asked you to build it.
We do get that, as a
Yes.
matter of fact. Unfortunately, we don't do any custom floor plans, so we are unable to build any plans that people bring into us. But we have lots of floor plans to pick from. So we do only build our own plans that we've designed, but we have, you know, multiple 2 stories, story and a half, reverse story and a half. So there is a little something for everyone out there. So we're sure to find a house that will fit every buyer.
Yeah, perfect. What are some of your standard features?
There's a lot of them.
Yes.
I'll just name a few of my favorites.
Maybe, yeah, your favorites.
Okay.
What are your favorites?
Probably my most favorite standard feature. So standard features I call like free upgrades.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
they're items that are included in the house that the buyers don't have to pay additional money for. Soft close drawers throughout. So on any kitchen drawer or bathroom, they're all soft close. So no more slamming.
I was going to say, no more angry children.
No. It's
Good.
everything just closes super soft. So that's fabulous.
So instantly a happy home then.
That's right. That's right. And a quiet home too.
Yes.
Yeah. See some other items that I really like. We do USB ports in the kitchen, so you won't have all those crazy cords and outlets hanging out of all of your plugs. So
Yeah.
USB port is a fun feature. We also do LED bulbs in all of the can lights, so that's a good energy saver.
Yeah, and you don't have to switch them out as much either. When you have the tall ceilings, anyone who's changed one of those bulbs way up high, not fun.
I know, they actually do last a really long time, so you are changing bulbs a lot less.
Good.
So, and there's lots of other features. Can you think of some that you have any questions about?
I think the coolest one that they went to, was like a year and a half ago, was on the Missouri side at least, granite throughout. So in the
kitchen
bathrooms,
and the bathrooms.
kitchens. Yeah, and I thought that was cool just because, you know, when you're building a house, I feel like there's an expectation. So now that we have it, it's just there. It's good.
Yeah, and you are guaranteed to get granite in the kitchen no matter where that you build.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What are some of the major energy saving features you guys have in your houses?
I would say the ones that are most important would be a 96.5% efficient furnace. Code only requires us to put an 80% efficient furnace in, and we give you 96.5. You get a 16-SEER air conditioner, and code only requires us to do a 13-SEER. So again, you're getting a more efficient air conditioner. And on the majority of our homes, you're getting a 50-gallon hot water heater, and code only requires 40. And so you're actually looking at a lot more hot water that goes through your home.
Which, if you have girls that live in your house, I would say that's definitely a benefit.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of people that comment on the 50-gallon hot water heater because typically people like to upgrade and pay for that upgrade.
Yeah.
But it's just standard in our homes.
Awesome. What are some of the most important benefits of building with you guys?
The energy efficiency is probably number one. So with building with us, and we are a green builder, and all of our homes are energy efficient, you're just going to save on your utilities each month. So, you know, I always talk to people about being able to spend a little bit more on the upgrades of their home because their monthly cost just to run the home is going to be a lot less.
Yeah.
So it just evens it out. So you can get a little bit of a nicer home with some more upgrades and still spend less.
Yeah, awesome. So talking about energy efficiency, what is a HERS rating? Because I know you guys do HERS scores on all of your houses. So what is a HERS rating? It
stands for Home Energy Rating System. And really all you need to know on that, because there's a lot of information and I would probably bore most people, is the lower the score, the more energy efficient your home is.
Okay.
So our homes are rating anywhere between 59 and 75. And again, just the lower, the more efficient. But anything over 75, I'm not even seeing it anymore, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm not either.
But a standard new home rates at about 100. So that just kind of tells you that even if you do rate it 75, your home is 25% more efficient than a standard new home.
So if someone's looking at a resale home, comparing it to a new home, how much more energy efficient are your homes over a resale house?
A resale home that's approximately 8 years or older, they are rating about 120 to 130. Okay. So again, if your house rates at a 75, which is high for a HERS score, you're still looking at between 50 and 60% more efficient for a new Summit custom home.
Now, when you're talking about energy efficiency and percentages and numbers, that actually rolls over into a dollar amount, doesn't it?
It does.
That's actually dollars saved.
It is. Yeah. So even if you're saving, between 40 and 50% compared to another either new home or resale home, that is the percentage of dollars you are saving in compared to the bills you're going to get for your new Summit Custom home compared to the bills that you would have received if you bought a resale.
So you're telling me, just so I make sure my math is right, so 50% on a 10-year-old home, used home. So if I move into this house, it would be $200 and it would be $400 if...
That's correct.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
And ask our homeowners that currently live in a Summit Custom home. They will tell you that their utilities are way lower than what they were paying in their home that they moved out of, which was probably a resale.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so if I'm trying to find the right floor plan for my family,
Okay.
Do you guys have model homes that I can go tour? And if there isn't a model home, is there any way that I can get into a house that maybe you've built for someone else and we could schedule an appointment for me to go look at it?
Okay. So two questions.
Yes.
Okay. So we have over, 250 houses that are under construction right now. More than likely, we are going to be able to find a floor plan that you can go visit. Absolutely no problem. Every once in a while, there's that one floor plan that we've maybe sold.
Yes.
And we don't have any models or specs for you to go see. It depends on who the homeowner is that lives there. Sometimes we have a sold home that we can get you in. They haven't moved into it yet. That is a very good possibility. If they are living in the home, we just have to contact that homeowner and see if they would let us in. So, but there's always a way.
Yeah.
If there's a house that you need to see, we'll make sure you get in there.
So if I wanted to go see Cherry Creek 2, would you let me in your house?
Well, why don't we just see this beautiful floor plan that you have? Missy's actually sitting in a Cherry Creek 2. It's her brand new model, and it's gorgeous. So, but if this was not available,
then you'd let me in your house.
I would definitely let you in.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so is there just a list of upgrades I can find somewhere that I can look through?
I get that question all the time. I do not have a list of upgrades. There are so many upgrades that you can just think up. What I typically like to do is meet with that homeowner that's curious about what upgrades they want. So hopefully you already know what floor plan you want to build. I'm going to meet with you. I'm going to do what's called a build job meeting, and we're going to walk through that particular plan, and I'm going to be able to point out what's standard, what are some upgrade options, and then I always want to ask that homeowner, what's your wish list? What are you thinking? So if you're cooking in this kitchen, how do you see it? Do you want gas? Do you need extra cabinetry? And that's where I can, come up with a list specific for that buyer.
Perfect. And just to add to Christy, if you guys are visiting an exclusive Summit community, so we've got 7 or 8 of them. All of the agents are trained on standards and upgrades, so you guys could always make an appointment before you meet with Christy to go to contract, and they can walk you through the house, kind of explain what's standard, what's upgraded, and then help you kind of make a list from there.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any financial incentives for using a preferred lender or title company?
We do. So Jim Alderman with NASB is our preferred lender. He's been our partner for many, many years, and I would say the best benefit for using him is just peace of mind. You're going to close on time with little to no hassle. Using him, I used him for my loan, and it was just he just made it so easy. He is offering $1,000 in paid closing costs. So Jim will pay $1,000 of closing costs for the buyer that chooses to use him.
So free money.
Free money, right?
Who doesn't like free money?
Right, and closing costs are typically a few $1,000s, and so for him to pay $1,000, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As far as the title company goes, we prefer that you use Kansas City Title, although we don't require it. So if you choose to use a different title company, there's a small fee. I think it's like $250 that the buyer will have to pay if you choose to use someone besides Kansas City Title.
So it's a benefit to use them because you don't have to pay the $250 then.
That's correct.
So if you use both of them, you could be saving $1,200. You're telling me?
That's right, $1,250.
Yep, there you go. What type of warranty do you offer?
We actually have a 3-tier warranty, and this is standard with all of our homes. So this isn't something that the buyer has to pay for, because I get that question a lot too. they say, oh, you have a 1 year, a 2 year, and a 10 year, so how much is the 2 year?
Yeah.
You don't pay for it.
Yeah.
We have already set it up so that it is no additional charge, but we have a 1 year systems, a 2 year mechanical, and a 10 year structural warranty at no charge to all of our buyers. So again, peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
For 10 years.
Yeah. How and when will the final price for my house be determined?
That's a good question. When we meet to do a build job meeting, and this is something that Missy does also here on site, she can do what we call price summaries. You will have a final price before you go to contract of what that house is going to cost. But throughout the build process, you can add upgrades to the home, or there may be some overages. So you go pick out your tile and you decide to get something fancy.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a little bit more. So throughout the process, there is we can do change orders, and that will actually add to the price of the house. You can either pay out of pocket. There are situations where we can actually roll it into the mortgage. So I would say the final sales price would be closer to the end of the contract when the build job is almost complete.
Now, if someone goes out and they make all their selections and they stay within their allowances, they're locked into that price though, right? They don't.
Oh, yes.
Your base price isn't going to fluctuate if wood goes up or concrete goes up or labor cost or whatever goes on. You're locked in though for that 8 months, correct?
That's correct. When we go to contract and you've signed the contract and the prices are all there in writing, you are locked in for the 8-month period that the build job is taking place. If we get a price increase, say from our framers, we are not going to increase the price of the person that is already under contract.
Okay.
So if that's what you're asking, you're locked in a contract.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now you kind of touched on change orders, but when and how can I make changes or upgrades before and during construction? So what does that process look like?
Okay, when we try to get people to figure out exactly what they want prior to going to contract, but there's always going to be stuff along the line that comes up. So you're going to meet with your personal builder, and he has ideas that I haven't even thought of.
Yeah.
Or she. We actually have girls and guys as our personal builders.
Yes.
You can do a change order at any time as long as the availability for that change to be made hasn't passed. For instance, as an example, if we're at mechanical stage, meaning we're putting in electrical and the HVAC, if you want to add outlets and we have already gone through mechanicals and the sheetrock is already hung, it's actually too late to add any more electrical.
Yeah.
But your personal builder will walk you through that process, and they will make sure you understand that now is the time to make changes on electrical because we're doing mechanicals.
So they'll get a heads up.
You will definitely get a heads up. And the personal builders are also really good about saying, now's a good time to change this to hardwood if you don't want carpet in the great room because your carpet's being delivered in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So you will always know when is the right time to make that change.
Now, do you charge per change order?
You mean like a change order fee?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I call that an inconvenience fee.
Yeah.
We don't charge that.
No. So you could do 100 change orders and it's not going to cost any different.
No, the only thing it's going to cost is actually the cost of the product that you're adding to the home.
Okay.
So for instance, if you want hardwood floors in the great room, and I'm just making up this number, but it might cost $2,000, we're going to collect the $2,000 for the hardwood floors, but there's not an additional fee just to write up the paperwork.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
I know. Make it easy for you.
Yes. Okay. Now, say somebody has their house picked out, they've picked out their upgrades, and they're ready to write a contract. Can you walk us through that process?
I can. You want me to explain the whole contract process or any specifics about the contract?
Anything you might think is important for somebody to know.
Okay. So what we would typically do is we would meet at one of our homes or the Summit Custom Homes office, and I would already, we really do try to send the contract out ahead of time so you have time to read it because it's not short.
No, absolutely.
It's legal. It's legal forms. But I or the on-site agent will actually sit down with that buyer, and we will walk you through exactly what that contract says. There's a Cliff Notes version, and then there's the longer version, and it's really whatever the buyer prefers us go through. But we do want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're signing, because this could be, the largest purchase you've ever made in your life at that moment.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure you know what you're signing. So we'll just sit down and walk through the whole process. I'll make sure you know where to put your signatures, your initials, and And towards the end, if there's any other questions, we'll answer it at that time.
Awesome. What does somebody need in order to go to contract? So
Money-wise,
pre-approval, all those kinds of things.
okay, we will need a pre-approval and or proof of funds. So a lot of people do pay cash. So I just need to see proof that you have money in an account somewhere. Otherwise, we need a pre-approval, which is from any lender, preferably from Jim.
Of course.
But any lender will do. We just need to make sure that you are approved and have made enough money that you can afford to actually buy a house or build a house. So, and then on top of that, once you sign a contract, we do have an earnest deposit, and that is really just to lock in the contract. So we just need a little bit of money down in order to get the process going, start the permitting process, and start building the house.
And what does that earnest money deposit look like?
It depends on whether you're talking a spec or a build job, but if
Both.
Okay, on a spec house, it's a minimum of $5,000.
Okay.
And on a build job, it is a minimum of 5%.
Okay. Now, I know we really haven't talked about spec homes very much. So can you kind of explain to somebody about our inventory homes? Like, you know, what stage in the process can they still make selections or changes, and what the earnest money looks like there? And then if there's one that's already done and they can close in 45 days, 30 days, what it looks like there.
Okay. Yeah, it gets a little sticky in there.
It does.
So we sell our houses at any stage of construction. So you could purchase a home before the foundation's in, while the foundation's in, at framing, at sheetrock, or completion. So if you want to purchase a home, say at sheetrock stage, because we do sell, once the walls go up, people start to, they can see them and see what they're going to look like. So once they're at sheetrock stage, they can definitely purchase the home. We don't require as much as the 5%. We'll take, you know, anywhere between, I'd say, 2 to 3%. It really depends on the house. As far as changes being made on a house like that, it's tough, because once sheetrock is installed, all of our product is ordered: carpet, tile, paint. So there's very minimal things that can be changed. If you purchase the home prior to sheetrock being installed, we'll have to talk. Typically when prior to mechanicals being installed, which again is electrical, heating and cooling, then you can make your own selections.
So then it would just switch over from an inventory home to an actual build job.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. But then, you know, once the sheetrock goes up, there's very little, if any, changes that can be made. And then once the house is complete, which, you know, is similar to what we're looking at today, no changes can be made because everything's already installed.
Absolutely. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then that's when you say the $5,000 is due.
$5,000.
Okay.
But only on completed homes. That's correct.
Now, when you say 5% down, is that with all of the upgrades, the base price, the lots? Is that just our final price, 5% off that? Or is it the base price? What does that look like?
On a build job, it is 5% on the entire sales price. And so it's base price plus lot plus upgrades. So it's 5% on the total contract price.
Okay.
If you were to buy a spec, and let's just say you decided to add blinds throughout, we're actually going to collect the $5,000 plus the cost of the blinds.
Okay.
So it'll be $5,000 plus any upgrades that are made to the house.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I'm trying to think the earnest money through here.
Yeah.
So now we've got the build job, we've got the spec homes. What happens with that earnest money? Does it go to a title company? Does it go to you guys? Who uses that money? Does it transfer over into closing? What does that look like?
It gets deposited into the Summit Custom Homes account.
Okay.
Okay. Now that earnest deposit does go towards the buyer's down payment.
Okay.
So whatever money you give Summit Custom Homes is actually deducted from the amount of money you have to bring to closing.
Okay. So if I'm doing a regular conventional 5% loan and I've done a build job, the 5% I put down there counts as my 5% that I'll need to go to closing with.
It does. So really you're just giving it to us up front
ahead of time
instead of having to bring it in the end. So it actually makes closing a lot less stressful because you don't have to
does.
worry about getting a check right before you go.
It's true. It's true. Okay, and then my earnest money, is that refundable, non-refundable? What does that look like?
It is non-refundable. So if we're going to start building a house for you, We need to make sure that you got a little skin in the game.
Absolutely.
And so that the money, that 5% that you're going to give us up front is exactly that. And it just knows that you guys aren't going to back out after we start building a custom home for you.
Which, I mean, makes sense. So if I get cold feet, I'm out 5%.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. Now, after we...
Angie has a question. She wants to know how long it typically takes to build a home from start to finish.
It takes approximately 8 months. So from the time that you sign the contract until the time that you actually get to move into the home, it's 8 months.
Now, that is a good question, though. I just thought about this. So at sheetrock stage, do you guys reevaluate the closing date?
We
or is that 8 months set in stone?
So no closing dates are ever set in stone because we can't, Mother Nature just gives us what she wants to give us. And
Absolutely.
So we do take that into consideration with that 8 months. But if we have, an abundance of rain that we can't control, then it definitely gets adjusted. So once sheetrock is installed, then we can give you a hard closing date.
Because that's usually about 60 days from closing, right?
It is. And there's really, I can't think of much that would delay the process once sheetrock gets hung.
Absolutely. So, that's kind of good for people to know too on the planning side, because if you're in a rental situation and you need to give notice, 60 days kind of gives you that perfect window.
Or if you have a house to sell, once sheetrock gets installed, that's a really good time to get your house on the market.
Yes, it is. You went through that, didn't you?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Okay, will you remain my point of contact through the whole thing?
I get that question also all the time. So I am the pre and during contact person. So I talk to people in the planning stages and during the write-up of the contract. But once the contract is signed, I actually hand that off, and we have someone in Summit Custom Homes that actually does all the processing. She does all the change orders and answers any questions to the buyer, and that information will be given to the homeowner at contract. And then your personal builder. That's going to be your best buddy for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
And that's the person that's going to be answering the majority of your questions. So I'm still around, but I'm more behind the scenes because I'm not the one actually building your house. The personal builder will be your direct contact.
Now, in exclusive communities, whoever is the on-site agent, so I'm out at the resort at Stony Creek, so I'm the on-site agent out here. So while you guys are building, Christy would then hand it over to me and Dustin. Dustin would be your personal builder, and all of your change orders would be processed through me, actually. And then in the non-exclusive communities, like Christy said, it'll be somebody at Summit that's handling all those change orders.
That's correct. Thanks for clarifying that.
Christy does a lot on the non-exclusive side of things, so it's a little bit different.
That's right.
Who should I contact with any questions I might have? So this is like everything. So from the time they have questions before they go to contract, after they go to contract, who would your people be?
I can be the contact person for most anything. Most any questions, they can definitely call me, email me, text me, whatever's easiest. If
Smoke signals?
if there's an on-site agent like yourself, you would be a good contact person. So if they know what community they're going to be building in, the on-site agent would be a really good point of contact.
Perfect. And then the last question I have is just who will oversee the construction of my home, but I think you've answered that.
Personal builder.
Yes, we love our personal builders.
We do.
So that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think you covered it. That's great. If anyone has any additional questions about the building process or the contract process, you're welcome to give them my number.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to answer.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here with us
today.
And thank you guys for watching our third week. Next week, we are actually going to be here with a personal builder, Dustin. He's out here with me in the reserve, so he's going to be here to answer all of your questions on the point from you went to contract now and you have this limbo time until you close. What does that look like for building? Or if you've bought an inventory home, what that looks like. So we hope that you tune in next week on Thursday at noon, and we will answer your questions live. Thanks.